We've got breaking news out of the NBA where tonight's Nuggets-Warriors game has been postponed. The Nuggets did not have the league minimum 8 players available for tonight's contest. Denver currently has 3 players in COVID protocols, with another 8 dealing with injuries and non-COVID related illnesses. It'll be the 11th game postponed in the NBA this season. Looking at the postponements by team this season, the Bulls and the Nets and the Raptors all had 3 games postponed. The Nuggets now have 2. Let's welcome in our Avery Johnson. We're really looking forward to this one, but COVID calls once again. So what are your initial thoughts on hearing that this Nuggets-Warriors game has been postponed?
Well, my initial thoughts are I'm just really concerned, especially what's going to happen with NBA games over the next 3 to 4 weeks, especially with this new Omicron variant that we really just don't understand totally. So I'm concerned for the health and welfare of not just the players, but the coaches. You know, we have 7 coaches now in COVID protocols. We have, a large portion of the NBA referees. I think about, 20-25% of the referees that's in protocol. So really concerned about how this is spreading throughout not only the country, but also NBA players, staffs, folks that take the stats. We're in for a long haul over these next 2 to 4 weeks based at the rapid rate of the spread of this virus over the next couple of weeks.
You mentioned the coaches there. Put yourself in the position as a coach who has COVID, much like Michael Malone in this case. Beyond the physical aspect of being in COVID protocols, how does this start, stop, the pause, all the questions have an effect on the season?
Well, it can have an effect, but this is where your leadership, not only from your best players, if they're available, but also the assistant coaching staff, being able to take over. I see Monty Williams missed a couple of games with Phoenix. They were able to beat Oklahoma City last night. Doc Rivers is in protocol now, Coach Malone from Denver. So whenever the team is able to come back, your assistant coaches really have to step up. And then this is going to also speak to how the development of some of your players at the end of the bench. Guys that don't normally, are not normally in the rotation, maybe a couple of guys that's on a 2-way contract that you called up from the G League. So this is going to really speak to the whole overall culture of a franchise and others being able to step up when the star players are not there or if the head coach is not available.
You mentioned it there, and you're hearing some wild names kind of coming back into the league because of these protocols and being able to sign these players in different types of deals. What do you think of the protocols that are set right now in order to get these games even out on the court?
Well, I'm actually happy that players will be able to make it back on the court sooner with all of the new CDC rules. Instead of the 10 days, now it only takes 6 days. I'm happy if players are able to provide 2 consecutive negative tests that they'll be able to get returned to the floor. So I think the NBA, along with all of the health officials, they're doing whatever they can to make sure that they're consistent with their messaging, not only their players, but also fans, because fans are watching this very closely in terms of the messaging from the NBA, the commissioner's office, and also public health officials.
And now I know we were really looking forward to this game, just coming off of that game on Tuesday where the Nuggets got the win over the Warriors. Now, despite all the injuries dealing with COVID, the Nuggets are 5th in the standings right now. Are you surprised to see them in that position?
No, I'm not really surprised. That's about where I thought the Nuggets would be, and especially because the Lakers have underwhelmed this year and underperformed. I thought the Lakers would be up a little bit higher. Obviously, I thought the Mavericks, especially, if Porzingis could stay healthy, they would move forward. So the Warriors, the Suns, the Jazz are where I expected them to be. It's kind of hard, when you don't have your second best player with the Nuggets. That's a lot on Jokic night in and night out. So they're about where I expected them to be. I definitely thought the Los Angeles Lakers, with the combination of LeBron James, Westbrook, Anthony Davis, when healthy, Carmelo Anthony, I thought they would be a top 4 team.
Avery Johnson, thank you so much for joining us here on CBS Sports HQ with this breaking news that the Nuggets-Warriors game has been postponed, but we still have some NBA games on the docket today, 3 of them. As the Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks, they will return to the court. Bucks headed to the home of the Orlando Magic. Excuse me there. Bucks going to Orlando Magic. Cleveland Cavaliers, after confirming Ricky Rubio will miss the rest of the season, suffering that torn ACL, they will be visiting the Washington Wizards. And you see the Sixers and the Nets will be playing at 7 p.m. Eastern.